Now let's move on to our reviews.
Okay.
You can start off, dear. We got Star Trek Picard Season 3 finale. What episode number is it, do you know?
I had to watch 3 episodes because I was away and it comes out on Thursday. So I watched 3 episodes.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, there's still some of them are some disappointing things. And I was trying to figure out what don't I like about it. I didn't like of course, I talked to you before about the language that LeVar Burton's
there's swearing in Star Trek.
She doesn't swear, but she says really stupid things. She says another really stupid
thing. You said even Picard was swearing.
Picard swore, but then he doesn't.
And Riker's swearing?
He doesn't swear anymore. Well, Riker's kind of a crazy old man now. But I was trying to figure out what I don't like about it. Well, they don't seem to care when they leave someone behind. And again, they left more people behind in this. Spoilers. They leave,
this is a spoiler review.
Raffi and Seven totally behind it and don't seem to care about them again.
Well, they're not Next Generation crew.
Anyway, they
also
make it out.
This episode is episode 10 of this season.
I'm talking about basically episode 7.
It's called The Last Generation.
8, 9, and 10. Yeah, okay. So surprise, surprise, like I said, they do a whole Battlestar Galactica thing.
Mm-hmm.
And they go find the old ship. And the ship that they end up using, I think they wasted the other ships. I think they could have used some of the other ships and used Seven and Raffi and had them in the other ships, but they didn't. All they did was, Geordi's like, he's got that old car in the backyard that he's been fixing up, over these years.
Is it Voyager?
And no, he's got the Enterprise D, the fat one, as they call it. They keep on saying
Which one's the Enterprise D? Is that the Next Generation one?
It's the one that they destroyed. So he's
in
got
Next Generation?
I don't know. In a movie, I don't know. It's the D one. I don't know. I can't keep straight. But they keep on, through this whole series, they've complained about the D and said she was the fat one and stuff like that.
I think that is the Next Generation one.
It definitely is their ship, but I don't remember when it got destroyed. Anyway, Geordi's got all the parts, and he's got her there, and she's almost ready, and of course they have to get in that, just like Battlestar Galactica, because it can communicate with the other ships, because of course they all communicate, and so the big enemy, we were trying to figure out who this big enemy is. We have the changelings, and then the sun.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a cool concept, I suppose. I'll give it to them. The idea was that instead of Picard having that neurotic syndrome that was going to kill him, and that's supposedly how he almost died in the end, it wasn't. It was remnants of being Locutus a Borg. That really was the problem.
Oh, yeah?
So when he had a kid, the kid inherited these remnants. And this had never happened before because the Borg doesn't procreate, right? They just assimilate. So the whole idea was they needed to get his son because they needed him, and they also needed Picard's body because they took the pieces of the Borg that were in Picard's body and they put them in every transporter. That's what they were using the changelings for. It was the changelings and the Borg team up.
Mm-hmm.
And they put in the transporter, so every time someone used a transporter, they switched out their genes and put these Borg genes in them, which was a cool idea.
Every time you use the transporter.
Yeah, they put these Picard genes in everybody.
See, there's a reason why Mel Brooks didn't trust that beaming,
I know.
And then his head got put on backwards.
McCoy never liked the transporter. So what happened was, it was only in people under the age of 25, because that's when your brain stops development.
Mm-hmm.
So when they finally did get a hold of his son, spoilers, then he can somehow communicate with them all and turn everyone under 25 into a Borg person.
Okay.
Without that thing, they just turn into Borg.
Was
interesting.
Nanites?
No, it was like they actually replaced their... Whatever Picard got from the Borg, they put in everybody. And the old people had it too, but it didn't affect them. Because it was only the young people. So all the young people turned on them and took over Starfleet. Was the idea. But there's a few issues with that, because the Borg don't operate like that.
Wait. That makes no sense. How would Picard pass it on to his son, okay? Because what, in his sperm? Because it would have to come from his mother, from Crusher. That makes no sense.
It supposedly, somehow, whatever it was, they never say what it was. I think it was neurotic syndrome, but it wasn't, apparently. This is the thing. So they put this DNA change. And so then, but the thing is, they were able to turn them all Borg by a message that they sent out. And the Borg were talking way too much. The Borg were talking like a lot, saying a lot of things, and using communication channels to talk. But they don't need to because of the Borg. They're all connected.
Why would they?
That was like, I don't think it would have worked turning them all into Borg by just a signal for one thing. And, but apparently the Changeling had super duper science and were able, I don't know. And the Changeling just sort of melted away. They killed the main Changeling and then they just like got rid of all the Changelings somehow.
That sounds like very lazy
writing.
The
Changeling thing just kind of dissolved all of a sudden. It was like a big menace, and then the main Changeling woman that was being threatened, it didn't make much sense who was threatening her, because it turned out it was just a Borg Changeling team up. But the Borg were only really one Borg ship left, and it was really decrepit, and all the Borg were dying, and there was only the Queen left, and she was all decrepit. I don't know. It was a push, and the thing that I really didn't like about it was some of the dialogue. Deanna and what's her husband, they talk about
Riker.
Hipsters being where they live, and
old school hipsters then in like the
they're complaining that they were living in like a hipster place. I didn't like a lot of the language, like I said before, these like talking about concrete and stuff, and the language was stupid a lot. And like, so basically these young people in front of Seven is there and the captain is there, and they turn into Borg, and they're obviously Borgs, and they do nothing. They're just standing there, and they're like explaining it. Oh, it looks like all the young people on the ship have been turned into Borgs. And then, of course, they shoot at them.
You sound really upset about this.
There was really stupid points
like that. Does Seven die?
No.
Oh,
the grumpy guy
I was afraid they were going to kill off Jerry Ryan.
The grumpy guy dies.
I don't know who that is, so I don't care.
Yeah, the grumpy captain.
So, you seem really upset. You didn't enjoy this?
No, it was kind of cringeworthy in some of these.
So, worst series ever? Because this is the end of it, isn't it?
Yeah.
This last episode was called The Last Generation.
There were some things I did enjoy. Okay, here is the big treat.
Okay.
Who do you think came back as a guest appearance?
I don't know.
Not Janeway. Janeway never came back. We got Tuvok again. He's better now.
Yeah, you mentioned that because he was evil. Tuvok. Tom Paris?
The Changelings didn't kill anybody.
Was it Tom Paris?
No, but his son got a Tom Paris.
Okay, who's the guy you're talking about?
Chekhov came back.
Chekhov?
Yeah, Walter Koenig was in it.
But he would be dead by then.
If he plays his son, and guess what his son is named?
I don't know.
Anton Chekhov.
Anton Chekhov. Okay, that's classy. That's a nice touch.
Yeah. So I thought that was the good thing about it all. He basically
is back Walter Koenig.
Yeah, he's not been in
he's still alive?
For so long. And he plays an admiral. We don't see him. We just hear a message. He sends a message out that hope is not lost because he realizes what's happening, and the Borg they're trying to get him to a escape capsule or something like that. And he plays Anton Chekhov, which is, of course, Anton Yeltsin. It's just kind of an ode to him because he passed away, who played Chekhov. So
he's 86.
He's allowed. Anyway,
he's older than Schwarzenegger.
He was in it, so that was really sweet. I was really not expecting that. Yeah, I like that.
Who was? I hope he had a good time doing
that. That was probably a big secret. I imagine that they kept under
Did you like seeing him in it?
I didn't see him. You don't see him. You hear him.
Oh, did you enjoy that?
I did, and I liked how they played him. Called him Anton. Anyway,
as a tribute to Anton Yeltsin.
Yeah, I thought that was really sweet. So I did like that. But I mean, even when they get on the Borg ship, they don't talk about the phaser problem. Like the thing with the Borg, when you get with the Borg, you got like 3 phaser shots and you're done, right? No.
Oh yeah, I do remember that because they adapt.
No. And Worf calls his bat'leth a sword.
Okay.
A sword. So whoever was writing some of this didn't know Star Trek. And he has a phaser in his sword, which is bat'leth looking. It looks like a bat'leth. And then Riker's able to shoot them easily with the phaser, even though they've already used a phaser. So they're forgetting things.
So they're forgetting their own lore. End of the day. Yeah. Best or worst series ever.
I don't know. I really like the beginning parts. I don't give it that. I give it an 82.
Because that's still an A-.
I know, but it could have been so good. And like they're explaining things a lot.
Okay.
And basically these guys are taking over the Earth. They're basically taking over Earth. And they're just sauntering along to the Enterprise D. Oh, look at the beautiful ship. Look at her. She's so nice. And they're not like getting away. They're not like running to the ship.
You
like,
give it an 82, but you're really mad about it.
Yeah, because there was stupid things. They should have looked at the ship once they were in the air and taking off to rescue everyone that was getting annihilated. It was a little bit too small, a little bit too easy, and they kept on leaving people behind. And they gave LeVar Burton's daughter, it was her, the worst lines ever.
Don't diss on LeVar Burton.
The things she had to say were stupid. So, and it seemed like it was a bit of like millennials versus Star Trek, because it was only young people that were the Borg. So it was kind of like, I don't know if that was some kind of like thing, basically, because I don't think millennials are into Star Trek, because really what they've had to see in recent years has not been very good quality. So basically it is the millennials take over and start killing everybody.
Mm-hmm.
It's an
maybe that's a social commentary metaphor. Who knows?
There's some parts too, like there's a cook that ends up on the bridge and Seven gives a big talk to him and everything. It's just ridiculous.
I have no opinion on this because I haven't seen it. Christine apparently hates it, but gives it an 82%. That makes no sense to me.
I think if they would have just talked to some good fans of Star Trek, they would have fixed it all up before they presented it to the world in the form that it was presented. Anyway.
Well, that's her thoughts. I have no thoughts on it. Are you enjoying Star Trek Picard Season 3, or did you enjoy it? Because apparently it's over now. Let us know down in the comments below. Maybe you have a worse opinion. Maybe you thought it was terrible like Christine. Maybe you thought it was amazing. I don't know. We want to hear from you.
I love Star Trek, but it was disappointing. And, spoiler, they don't kill out Picard. And Borg cubes are very open these days. The design is not very cubish at all, by the way. Mm-hmm. They're very drafty.
Gotcha.
Giant voids inside of them now.
So...
Anyway.